I don't know what's in the water, maybe laxative, but recently there have been a series of pooped runs, and it's got some eyebrows wrinkled, and some noses too.
A young woman on her morning run. She makes a turn, jogging towards this alley. Then a security camera catches this.
This is malicious fecal distribution.
Hey now, malicious fecal distribution's the only way I know how, so if that's a crime, lock me up right now. But typically that's in the privacy of my own closet, not out in public spreading brown graffiti on my neighbor's 2-story condo with an ocean view.
At least 4 times, Bobby says he has no idea who she is and why his home has become her personal toilet. Bobby says she always strikes on weekend mornings. In fact, his security cameras caught her once again this past Saturday.
I saw this little blonde girl running down the street, and I was like, oh my God.
4 times in a couple of weeks is completely unacceptable unless you're starting your run at Chipotle. That's why I suspect she has created some sort of challenge for herself where she downs a double beefy burrito with extra guac and tries to make it home before the Browns make it to the Super Bowl. And I can't blame her because I find it hard to motivate myself to go for a run too. But if it's between leaving a sidewalk landmine and getting home in less than 30 minutes, I'd be booking it.
Unsure, Bobby left his home and did some errands. When he came back, the evidence was there.
This is calculated. Look. I'm dropping my pants as I'm running.
Imagine leaving and then coming home to poop on the side of your house that wasn't a hobo. No, it was a 5-foot blonde girl doing a drive-by BM who apparently has some sort of vendetta against you or your choice in siding color. I don't think she stops to wipe, which means she's running away with leftovers between her cheeks, just grinding away like Mormon college students. Each step has to feel like sandpaper panties that have been permanently stained. I'll tell you how to catch her. Just stand outside and wait for somebody to jog by with stink lines coming off of them. All this reminds me of something that happened a couple weeks ago that is very similar.
You probably heard of porch pirates, but what about porch poopers? Right now, LMPD is looking for a man who has been using the bathroom on Louisville homeowner's porch all week long. Ward Jollish tracked down the homeowner and spoke with him about being targeted by a porch pooper.
The porch pooper, as he's affectionately become known as on the internet, is the husband of the last woman we looked at. I suspect, because they follow the same MO. But he's far more blatant, because he's the daredevil of the poop and run community. He doesn't hide in the shadows of alleyways to do his dirty deed. He is front and center, all eyes on me, while your doorbell camera watches every last messy detail. And he doesn't even hide his face. He wants you to see the face of the man whose fecal matter you have to clean up in the morning.
It all started with this. Sunday night, a young man in a red shirt walks up to one Louisville home well after midnight and begins peering inside. The homeowners have no clue. After a few seconds, the man runs away in his socks and disappears into the night.
Bro scouted the area. He wanted to make sure it wasn't too cold or too hot, and apparently it was just right, because he came back the next day.
But the next night he returns and leaves a horrific surprise.
Tuesday morning I went out to my front porch and noticed this, what I thought was a cat poop.
The homeowner, who wishes to remain anonymous but who we'll refer to as Jim, then checked his doorbell camera and realized it was no cat at all.
And it turned out to be a person.
Just like our blonde brownie maker, this man dropped trowel and laid the wood with all the speed and ferocity of a serial porch pooper. This was not his first rodeo, and he was not done yet, because he had a little more left in the tank, in the form of good old-fashioned salty lemonade.
And not only did he defecate, but he also urinated on our welcome mat.
After the cement was stained and the doormat was slushy, he made his way off into the Louisiana night.
What's even more disturbing is that the man returned a third time the very next night. Jim got an alert on his phone and tried to confront him, but the man was already gone.
Good luck confronting him, because I have a feeling you'd be seeing a lot more of the back of him. And you should count yourself lucky that you didn't make it to the door in time, because I have a feeling he had his piss cannon fully loaded.
I have no idea who this guy is or why he's doing this.
I have no idea. We're good neighbors. We, keep to ourselves. We behave ourselves.
The anonymous homeowner claims to not know who this man was. So I have come up with an outline, a theory of what I believe happened. So let me read that for you right now. Much like the blonde bomber, he had a Chipotle-esque situation on his hand, and unlike his female counterpart, he was, emphasis on was, a civil man, not prone to porch pooping. While on his way home, he found the buildup of pressure south of the equator was too much to bear, so in a desperate move, he pulled over to knock on a kindly stranger's door to ask to use their restroom. However, he found no kind stranger, and he was left there on the porch out of options and almost out of time. He quickly returned to his car and sped towards his home, but he could tell it was going to be too much to handle, and with one last clench of the cheeks, there was nowhere else to turn, and he gave up the fight. And as the pressure turned to relief, he felt that warm, dewy liquid run down his unshaven legs, and in his shame, he felt the poo begin to cool and dry and entangle within his leg hair. And all he could think about were those darn neighbors. If only those inconsiderate jerks had opened the door and let him into their bathroom, he wouldn't be driving in a puddle of his own fecal falls. And in that moment, something deep within him cracked. It shattered. He was forever changed, and he knew exactly what he was going to do to get his revenge. You can piece together the rest while I go on to write a New York Times best-selling novel. It's going to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Guarantee it. Thanks for watching. Later, dog.